Hey Edge Traders, Adam Winnig here to make your trading easy, lucrative, and fun. And today we have an awesome video, and it's a little bit longer one, I'll pre-warn you, but it's totally worth it. I interview one of our clients, Jeremy McKinney, who's been trading forex for over 5.5 years, has managed to blow 14 accounts and lose $26,000. And right when he's ready to give up on his forex trading career, he finds something that totally changes the game for him, and he passes the FTMO $100,000 funding blueprint challenge in literally his very first try. And he talks about exactly how his strategy works towards the end of this video, as well as he shows us a book that has totally changed everything for him. So I get it, this video is a little bit longer, but it's totally going to be worth it. You're going to hear a very inspiring story, which is sometimes all you need is a little bit of encouragement along this sometimes can be painful and frustrating journey of becoming a profitable forex trader. So this is going to encourage you, but it's also going to be actionable. So he talks about it towards midway through the video, his exact step-by-step system and process that he's using, as well as some of the psychological hurdles that he's had to overcome. So it is just incredible. I'll also add chapter titles here below so you can skip around to the video to see the parts that you want to, but this is well worth the watch. So we're going to skip to the interview right now. The way that this is laid out is I have the one and only Jeremy McKinney here with us. And I know he's been getting flooded from messages from you guys. He's been amazing at sharing what has been working with him and some of his strategies and thought processes. And he made a video in the group earlier this week that was really helpful. And he got so many messages from you guys that he figured, I actually hounded him down and said, hey, you got to get on live with us so that way we can interview you and hear about your story, as well as see the strategy and kind of what is going on in your mind when you're looking at this. So we do have Jeremy here with us. So guys, we're gonna dive in. This is gonna be a part interview, so you can listen in, as well as hopefully we can get Jeremy to share a little bit about his strategy and what's been working for him. But just to preface it for you guys, Jeremy has been trading forex for like over 6 years, and he'll tell you his story in just a second. But he's just now really found a lot of success using the bank secret indicator. He was just just passed the FTMO challenge. I believe it was either yesterday or this morning. So he's doing awesome. So Jeremy, thanks so much for being willing to contribute to the greater good of this community. And if you wouldn't mind just taking us back 6 years ago, how did you initially get into forex, and what was your thinking around why you wanted to start trading forex?
Sure. So I just want to say, man, thanks for having me on. This is like an honor. This is definitely a first for me. So I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love and support everyone has given me through this whole process. It's been incredible to have a community like this. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for that. But yeah, so actually it was January of 2016 when I started. So about 5 years actually. But when I started, when I first was looking at it, let me go back a little further. So I was actually looking at affiliate marketing first, and then I kind of got some dead ends on that, and then I came across trading, and I thought, well, let me look at this. I know that there's people out there that make money in the market, so let me look at it. I was working at a call center at the time, and so in between calls, I was going through babypips.com, just learning what's a pip, what's spread, what's swap, what's a pair, what are all these different things. So I was going through in between my inbound calls and just reading and went through their school of Pipsology. And as you know, if you've been through Baby Pips, they're not exactly like a strategy company. They're more of an education on what it is. And an introduction to Forex in general is, can be huge. So I went through all of that. And ironically enough, so weird how things work when you start doing something and then it's like the right thing. And you start getting these little confirmations along the way. Like I'd never even heard of Forex before. I get a call from this guy. He's like, I need internet right away. I'm like, sure, I'll get you set up, man. What do you do for a living? I trade Forex. I'm like, what?
No.
What? Like
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it before, and now lately it's become a lot more known online, but back in 2016, it was still kind of hit and miss. It wasn't like everywhere like it is now, but anyhow, so that's kind of how I got started. And, I found this signal service that was like $12.99 a month. I set up $100 account, blew that in 2 days because those guys didn't know what they were doing. But, so I went through a couple of those, and And then I did find, actually, what was the name of that? I can't remember right now. It's some training company that I went through. That's where I kind of cut my teeth. And I'm actually really thankful for it. Even though I wasn't successful after it, I'm still thankful for it now because I got the idea of long-term trading. And I think if you understand long-term trading, it's a whole lot easier to trade shorter term when you understand bigger picture, what's happening in the bigger picture. And that what you're getting on these smaller time frames are just portions of what's really going on. And that did help, but at the time it still just wasn't enough. And a lot of it was me. A lot of it was my own discipline, my own patience, my own ability to follow a strategy. And every time I blow an account, okay, next time, this is what I'm going to do. And then you get in a sticky situation. And then if you let yourself compromise, you just end up giving more and more money back to the market. And that's what I was doing time and time and time again. And my friend Mike, I was telling you about in Iowa, we were kind of trading together for a while. And I remember we were looking at GBP JPY and we were like, this is the bottom. This is it. You see this support? This is it. This is a support on the daily that's respected. So this has got to be good. There's no way it's going under here. We were like 80 pips negative. There's no way it's coming. All right, we're going to place another buy. We're not going to let them get us.
Oh, man.
And what does it do? It goes 75 more pips in the same direction against us. And we got stopped out. Actually, that was my 14th account that I blew.
My goodness.
Yeah. And so now I'm like on the side of the market where I'm riding those ones that look like they shouldn't go any further. Now I'm in those in the right direction.
Yes.
It's been, dude, this has just been a complete game changer. So let me go a little bit more forward. So basically I ended up moving away from that guy because I found something else. And you know how the trading journey is, man. You kind of go from thing to thing to thing, trying to find your groove. There's so many different styles of trading, like what fits my personality, what fits my psychology, and I'm saying all that now, but years ago I didn't know this stuff. And so I just was looking for the thing that works, like what works. And now looking back, I realize all of it worked. It was me that was the problem because of asymmetric compounding, which is just math. Now you introduced me to it, but it's just math. Simple math is all it is. And playing the odds that if you just follow a strategy, it will work. I remember that on a YouTube, you said any strategy will really work. Just follow it and use the compounding and follow the rules and don't negate from it and you'll be successful. And so I took that to heart, man. I think I actually saw that before I signed up with you guys. But anyhow, so I went through a couple different training companies. I did learn some more stuff, learned about Fibonacci retracement, learned about, I did a whole price action series training, visual price action series training that I paid for, support and resistance training. I did a real in-depth one that I paid for from that guy. I did a trading view thing that was supposed to be some kind of EA that didn't work out. I mean, I just did a lot of stuff. I did a lot of stuff over 5 years. And so, so we got to this point, to not take a bunch of time on those details. So to get to this point, about a month ago-ish, I said, I'm going to just follow my original long-term strategy and see, because that's where I did have success for a season. So let me try the long-term, just trade off the daily and see if I can pass the challenge. And because I still at this point still felt like if I had more capital, I can get out sooner because I make more money. It's not really all that exciting to see $12 and I'm ready to quit my job. But if someone's got the mental capacity, you can grow that. You can grow a small, tiny account, but it's hard on the brain to do that. So to get the capital, I thought that would help. So I got into the challenge. I won my first trade. I gained $1,300 and I was all excited. Took my second trade, lost. And of course I moved my stop loss, which I knew I shouldn't have, but I did it anyways. And I ended up giving back like 2,200. And then it was like 15 days later, I went back and forth from negative equity to zero, negative equity to zero, and then ultimately ended up just blowing the whole thing on GBP and ZD. And And so that I love that pair and I hate it. We have a love-hate relationship, that pair. But that's kind of what happened. So then I came across, I had been seeing you guys on Facebook. I'd been seeing you guys on YouTube. I watched some videos. And of course, you know, you have your skepticism with YouTube stuff, just like with anything. But because of the testimonials and because of all the screenshots and all that, I thought, let me just look at this. I got on chat. Those guys probably got sick of talking to me because I hit them like 7 times. I'm like, what is the forward projective percentage of positive equity off the right end of the chart? Tell me what, and they wouldn't give me specific numbers, of course, but I'm just like, you know, I'm just trying to reach at anything to see, does this really work or is it just fluff? And so I told my wife, I said, you know, after I did more research, and I saw more screenshots and I saw more stuff, I told my wife, I said, I'm going to give this a shot. You know, all we have to do is not go out to dinner twice this month and it'll pay for it for the first month. So, and so I was like, I'm going to do this and just see, you know, how it goes. And my wife was like, this is it. I'm done after this. If this doesn't work. And I said, oh, me too. I'm there. If this doesn't work, I'm going and getting a job in sales again. And I'm just going to move my way up, work a career and try to become a regional sales manager or something and try to move up that way. I was done. I was ready to walk away. I was completely and utterly done. Wow. I figured it up. Total losses, $26,000 in the last 5 years. I've lost. Wow. So I said, this is it, man. But every time there was a little couple weeks or a month or something where I'd walk away from it and something would happen where it would show up in front of my face again. Some random person asking me if I've ever heard of forex. I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, like, and my wife's like, why don't you pick it back up again? Well, and then once we got to this point, she wasn't saying that anymore. She's like, this is it. I'm like, yeah, me too. I'm spent. This is it. So I found when I found you guys and I signed up and I got everything in the beginning, you know, the first couple trades I took on BSI were losers. They were because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I stopped everything and I said, I'm going to go read the book. So I went and read the book.
The Edge Trading Secrets book.
Yeah. Edge Trading Secrets. Okay. Sorry. The Edge Trading Secrets book. Yeah. I said, let me read the book because if the concepts behind this trading system is laid out in the book, if I get that in me first and then trade, then I can understand what the thought is behind the system. What are we trying to accomplish here? You know, not just profit. We're trying to get in at a specific place. And so after reading the book, dude, that was like, I mean, anybody watching, if you haven't read the book, I mean, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, to be honest, if you're successful without it, great. But I mean, and this is 5 years experience talking. I read things in that book that I've never heard before. I mean, there's just things I've never heard before. Yeah. And the contra crowd concept is just, I laugh when I look at a chart that's trending blue on every time frame except maybe the monthly or maybe the 1 minute. And 98% of people are selling. I'm like, I can't believe I used to do this. I cannot believe I used to be part of this. I can't believe
on that GJ trade where you were trying to catch the bottom. This is the bottom. This is the bottom. This
is it. And then it just continues going. Just when you think it won't go anymore, guess what? Here's another 100 pips in the same direction, you know? And so once I read the book, then I read it again. And then I read it again. I'm actually, this weekend will be my 4th time going through it. And I'm telling you, get the concepts in you. Get them in you. It's not just about support and resistance contra. Yes, it is those things, but get it in you. So that way, if any time price action starts acting wonky on you, you fall back on what you know and what you believe. So I really feel this so strongly that if you can develop a real belief in what's in that book, it's going to change your trading. Just that alone will change it, I believe. And then of course, following the rules too, but get it in you, because I'll tell you that last trade that was like $7,300 profit to finish out the challenge. I opened that up yesterday at noon, and by midnight it was 7 pips from my take profit, but it went 9 pips away from my stop loss twice.
Oh man. Yeah.
Before. Yeah. So I said, okay, if I'm going to look at the charts, I will not look at the charts until the top of the hour. If I'm going to look at it, I'm waiting until the top of the hour. I'm not going to look at it at no 7:35, 720, and seeing this big old long red candle that's trying to get me off my game, making me think it's going to turn around when it turns 8 o'clock or whatever, 7 o'clock. And now there's just a big old wick there, and now it's white. And I would have gotten out and taken less profit and still not passed yet. But that's the thing that I had to overcome, was moving my stop loss, moving my take profits. Now, of course, with the last trade, I did move my take profit just because I don't need more than $100 and some $200 over 10,000. I mean, there's no reason to take opportunity for the market to turn crazy on you when you've already won, so I just closed it out early. So it was like 1 to 2.6 or something. It wasn't quite a 1 to 3 for that last trade, but that's the whole point behind it is get the concepts in you, get them in you, where you believe them like you believe the Bible, if you believe it or whatever. Let that be your forex Bible, because I'm telling you, that book is showing you, it's like you're seeing the enemy's plans before the battle.
Yeah.
You're seeing what they're planning, just think if the Super Bowl, one team could have the other team's playbook before they start the game. Like, are you kidding me? It's not even a contest. Now, of course, there's risk and all, nothing's guaranteed, and we know that. Yeah. But this has been absolutely just revolutional for me.
And you passed the challenge.
And I passed the challenge. Yeah.
Congratulations.
In 2 trades.
Huge. That's amazing.
2 trades.
Everybody, for listening, giving 777s in the chat box for Jeremy. That's incredible. After 5 years of struggle, after 5 years of blowing 14 accounts, after going through so many different mentors and courses and things, and you stuck to it, and it's just, it's so encouraging for everybody that's here that is, they're on their journey. They're somewhere. They could be their first month in. They could be 5 years in. Like, you are looking for your edge. And I'll tell you, for us too, Jeremy, it was meeting our bank trading partner that wrote that book, and he gave us the copy of this book. And it was stuff that just blew my mind that I'd never heard of before. And it made so much sense. And so if you guys haven't read it, you got to read it. If you're part of the $997 upgrade, we include a course called Smart Money Secrets. I break down the concepts in that book in video format. So if you prefer to digest it that way, then we do that as well. But it's just, congratulations to you for having the mental fortitude, and your wife, for her just believing in you and sticking by your side. And that's just absolutely beautiful thing that has happened. And this is still the beginning of your journey. There's so much to look forward to.
Well, what's been really awesome is, so when you trade with the trend, what I'm finding is, when you take these entries, like what I went over in the video, really what you're doing is you're getting in off of a pullback. You're getting in off of a pullback, going the opposite direction of the trend. And like, I've always wanted to be able to find those entries, but for some reason my brain couldn't see them before because I was trained by my long-term trader to get in from support and resistance levels and get in off of basically trend reversal. Yeah. And so, because he would get 8,000 pips off the daily on the GBP and ZD, and he'd hold it for a month and a half. He would hold that trade. And that's where I learned about swap and really how to do all that. And so I'm thankful for it. But this is opposite of that. This is not getting in at support or resistance and trying to take reversal. This is getting in off support or resistance from a pullback to continue on with the trend. And that's where the power of this thing is, where I'm seeing the power of it, because now you're getting in off of the fake out the banks just gave all the people that don't know what they're doing. Yeah. So you're getting in essentially with them. If you get in at the right spot. Yeah. So I've never seen 3 trades in a row. I get in off the engulfing candle, and the next candle just rips, absolutely rips in my favor. That doesn't happen every time, of course. But I had 3 trades where it just was like I got in and then the banks just pushed a button or something. It's what it felt like. That's awesome, man. And I've always experienced that from the other side, it going to my stop loss. Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. Anyway.
So would you mind if we opened up maybe your screen or something? We could just
yeah.
kind of talk about, what are you looking at,
Yeah,
for
I in
people
fact,
that
I'm
need
glad
to
I
see
did
it
this.
visually.
Everybody see that?
Yep. Beautiful. Yep.
Okay, cool. All right.
So walk us through, what are the criteria for your entry and
Yep.
stop loss take profit? And what do the settings
Yep.
look like? Maybe we could see those too.
Yep, absolutely. So the first thing I do is I'm going up here, right here. You can see my cursor, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah. So up here, I'm looking to see what the lower number is. Here it's blue. If it was red, we would only be selling. If it's blue, we're only buying. This right here is my determining factor of which direction I'm going. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Yes.
This is determining my direction. So I'm buying. Second confirmation. Am I predominantly blue here? Well, I still haven't gotten this fixed. I'm waiting on my VPS to get back with me. I'm sorry, guys. This is all smushed together. But this is the monthly. This is the weekly. And then you got your D1, H4, H1, M30, M15, M5. So we're mostly trending here on these time frames. Not so concerned about M1 and M5 because those can change really, really quickly. And then, of course, your monthly and weekly, we're not holding for months, so we're not super concerned about that either. I am concerned about the daily and the H4, but not as much as I am the H1. That's number one, of course. But we've got predominantly blue here. So let's pretend that none of this happened yet. We're actually right here on this candle. Right here is where we're at. Okay. So we're at a blue zone here. So that's my third thing I'm looking for. Are we at the zone where this color is matching and this matches? So we have check 1, check 2, check 3. Now, the last thing I'm waiting for is a candle body to engulf the previous candle off of this zone right here. So this body right here engulfed here, and I took my entry with the spread. It actually put me in like right there, and then it just took off.
Yeah.
It just took off. Beautiful. And then it came up here, pulled back. Now I've noticed my old way of thinking, is looking at, I saw this candle come out and I thought, oh God, is it getting ready to turn? Look at this wick, look at this. And then I started scrolling back in time and I put a line there and I'm looking at my support and resistance. And I'm like, what am I doing? I don't trade like this anymore. I just walk away from it and just let it keep going. And then sure enough, it ultimately came up. And I think my TP was like somewhere like right here. I think it was like right. No, it was right here. Half of that candle body right there. So I actually could have probably gotten a 1 to 4, but I didn't need it. I didn't need it.
Right.
So that was that trade. But I'll just do just a couple quick pairs just to show you. So here, awesome. 26. So we're buying, and then we're predominantly blue here, monthly and weekly. Not so concerned about. So I'm looking at that, but we're also at this red zone right now. So we're skipping this. We're not taking this trade because this aligns and this aligns, but this doesn't. So we're skipping that. We're not taking that trade, or I'm not. Again here, 14%, predominantly blue. Are we at a blue zone? No, we're not. We're skipping it.
Yep.
Here, 32%. Now this one starts to get a little more tricky because now what is that? Month, week. So your daily and your H4 are red. I wouldn't take that one. H1 is blue. I mean, you can take it if you want, but I'm not looking for these halfway kind of some sort of setup. I'm looking for setups that meet everything. And there's enough pairs here that you can find that. Maybe not daily, but at least every other day, I would think you can find setups. So here again, blue at a red zone, skipping it. Yeah, JPY, blue. We're blue on the country crowd, but here we're mostly red, so we're skipping it. Even though we're at a blue zone, I'm still not taking this. This market's got to sell me on why I should take it. I'm not trying to make myself believe I should take it. It's got to show me I should take it. And these are the steps I take to get that confirmation. So so here, so here, blue zone, all red, no way. And these numbers are too close together. I don't like 70-30, 65-35. 65-35 is probably my max. Anything over 65-35, I'm not even wasting my time with it. That's why I can go through the pairs very quickly because
now let me back that up.
Sure.
So when you say 65-35, So if something is above that, meaning it's a 70-30, you're only looking at 65-35 or a bigger discrepancy or less.
Yeah, I'm looking at a big discrepancy. See, 50-50 is no good for me.
Right.
60-40 is not really great for me.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see at least the 30s on the lower number. Is what I'm getting at. At least the 30s.
Yes.
For it to be a big enough discrepancy. Now, if something's like 9% and you're coming off a blue zone, now I'm just telling you, of course, nothing's guaranteed, but
you're looking pretty.
You're looking pretty. Yeah. And I've seen that time and time and time again. I mean, when I first got the concept of this, all I did was look for time frames that were solid one color. Yeah. I mean, every time frame, even the monthly. And then I started finding out the monthly and the weekly aren't quite as important.
Right.
And the M1 and the M5 aren't quite as important. Yeah. And then I started being able to take more entries. Now I did take a loss or two mixed in, but I got some more entries out of it that way. Because it's kind of like, for that to happen, man, all the stars have to align with the moon. And I mean, it's like, it's like crazy, you know? So, but in a nutshell, I mean, this is it. But what I was saying about the book is going to tell you why this is important, why this is important, why these zones are important. That's the thing. And when you get those concepts in you and you believe them and you become passionate about those things, and you have a belief system where if anybody tells you different, you're just going to throw it out because you don't believe it, because you know what you believe. So when you see a wick coming out against you, that belief system says, no, this is a trick. I'm holding through this. This isn't where the market's going. Look at the trend. The trend shows up. I don't care that this thing just dropped 30 pips and took half of my profit away. So what? I'm waiting because it's probably going to keep going. Maybe not. But if it does, I've got my safeguard in place for that. And I got 9 more trades to make it up. That's how I look at it. So I don't have to go over anymore, I don't think.
Well, I mean, this is just a perfect example here. It looks like, you know, the herd is long. We want to be short. Right. You know, all the way up until the weekly from looks like the minute 30 till the.
See, now you can take this. You can take this if you wanted to. I like it to almost be
I was referring to this alert here, Jeremy.
Sorry.
Arrow. Yeah. You see that?
Yeah. The arrow over here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a correct. Yeah. I thought you were talking about this engulfer right here. Okay. Yeah. That's yeah. If I saw that, see, a lot of trades
don't have big shadow.
A lot of trades I take don't have an arrow. Because it's not an alert. Now I do take them though. I do take them with an arrow if they line up. But if I'm not getting any alerts, I'm looking through the market. If I feel like I want to take a trade, I'm looking through to see if I can find something that's there. You know.
Yeah. Hey Jeremy,
BSI just hasn't picked up yet. Yep.
Do you look just on the hour then? I mean, because obviously you don't want to be staring at your chart all day. You know, do you look, obviously check your alerts, but then also just kind of check the pairs on the hour? Is that what you're doing?
See how right here they're all set to 1 hour?
Yeah.
Every one of them. And that's all I do. I just click through. Okay, 30% selling. Am I at a red zone? Well, on this one, we're close, but let's just say we're not. Or let's say we're down here at the blue. Okay, no, I'm not at a red zone. Skip. Boom. 15, 20 seconds per pair is all it takes me to go through and see if there's a setup. And if I find a setup, but there's no engulfing candle yet, no good kangaroo tail, nothing yet, we're just in the zone, then I'm waiting. Now I'm just keeping an eye on it. I jot that down on a sticky note, and then I come back in another 45 minutes to an hour, see if we start forming something. So I've watched them before where it's a fantastic setup, but nothing ever forms. So I skip it. Something else forms on something else I'm looking at, I'll take that instead, you know?
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. Jeremy,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, maybe you're going to say the same thing, Adam. How about the take profit and stop loss? How are you determining where you're going to put those?
Yeah. So let's just pretend that this is up here a little closer, and I would take this. So what I would do is if I was here, I would take this right here, and I would come up beyond the zone, beyond this block, always beyond the block. Now this one's a little trickier because you have another one right here. So if you really wanted to be safe, now you're going to have to go a lot further on your take profit, but if you really want to be safe, you could go up here. But I would say for this example, let's just say 54, 55 pips you'd put your stop loss at. So then we're trying to get 110, which is just going to be down below this zone. And don't think that the market, these are not stopping points per se. They can be, but not necessarily. If you're trading with the trend, these are like little marble-sized speed bumps. If you're trading with the trend, a lot of times they're scary looking because they're big and they're red and they're square, but that doesn't mean the market's going to respect it. It's just showing you that it did in the past and that it might again. That's all. So you're
looking for 1 to 2 setups.
I'm looking for one. Well, with the challenge, I actually did 1 to 3 because I thought I've been tracking my win rate, which I'm not even going to tell you what it is because it sounds unreasonable and not possible. But but I've had success with it. So I found that I have a lot more chance of getting 2 trades in a row than 3 with the challenge, for example. Now, once I go with live money, I may, when there's no profit target, then I may do my 1 to 2s and try to get 3 in a row because that's 26% if you hit it. So,
in our testing with the simulator, we almost have that ready, by the way, Jeremy. I don't know if you've ever played much around with a simulator before, but
I haven't. No.
Oh, it's amazing practice. I mean, you can get a year's worth of practice in 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So it is so cool. And we're so close to having that available to everybody. So I know everyone's just going to, get so much better, so much faster, but
so there's some way to apply what I'm doing to that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we're I mean, it's been quite a project to program it to be able to read the sentiment also because that's a live thing. So
sure.
It's been a project, but we're really close. So it'll be the only simulator that is on the market that you'll actually be able to look at the market sentiment at the same time. So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So what I was mentioning was what we've been seeing in a lot of our testing is that, we're definitely having a higher expectancy when we're trading a 1 to 3 with asymmetric compounding, significantly.
Okay, cool.
One other idea that we've been playing around with too, that you might, you could play around with if you want to do 1 to 3, when it gets to 2R, 1 to 2R, you can move your stop loss to break even. It doesn't seem like a lot of the times it goes all the way back to breaking, especially if you're trading with the trend. So
I've only had it happen maybe twice.
Well, that's amazing. Let's try to answer some questions here. If we have questions for Jeremy.
James asked, how did you manage to remove the fear to leave the trade alone? I remember in your video that you posted in the Edge Traders official group, you talked about specifically that you set your stop loss and your take profit and you set it and forget it. And even if, you get in the trade and it starts to come closer to your stop loss, you just let it go. How have you conditioned yourself to do that?
So that's like a psychology question. So that comes back to your core belief system. What do you believe about your strategy? Do you believe it works long-term, or do you believe it's only going to work a handful of times and then not work again consistently? If you get it in you that the system works long-term, you believe it, you see the proof, you've read the book, you got the data in you. Now, don't let the market dictate to you what you're going to do in terms of when you're in a trade, because you've already got your parameters set. You've already told yourself, I'm willing to lose 1%. So if it goes $998 in the negative, why would you close it? You've already told yourself you're going to risk 1%. I'm going to be okay with losing $1,000 on this trade to make $3,000. So if it's $900, $850 negative, why would you close it? Now I'm going back on what I said. So now I'm kind of not really a stable trader anymore. So that's what I've found a lot of success in, is leaving it, become stable, set it, walk away. If it hits stop loss, who cares? You got 9 more tries, if you're doing the challenge anyway. If you're doing your own personal account, then you have as many as you want,
Yeah.
So for sure.
One other thing. Oh, Joe, I just had to say one other thing that I know for this, whoever's asking this question, I don't know what their name is, but the simulator is going to be massive for you, because you're going to see this over years and years and years, over pair after pair after pair. You're going to just condition your mind to seeing how these would have played out had you not left them alone and used a fixed, stop loss or whatever your take profit methodology is. But it's the greatest practice. I mean, you're going to be able to get, they say that you need 10,000 hours worth of practice to become an expert. Well, trading the real markets live, that's going to take you, if you're trading, I believe I did the math. if you trade 8 hours a day, every single day, 5 days a week, it's going to take you 5.5 years. You're going to put in the time like Jeremy, whereas with the simulator, you can get that sort of practice in like 3 days, 4 or 5 days, trading a strategy. So
that's so huge, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it'll just build your confidence even more that what you're doing is legit, that it works, and you'll feel
it's
more
hard
confident.
it's hard to me to fathom that someone that's never even heard the term forex before can come and join a group like this, get it plugged into the software, back test it for 5 years in an afternoon or 2 afternoons, and then instantly be able to have the same success as me, who's been at it for 5 years and gone through heartache. It's not fair.
And $26,000, if I can remember correctly.
No, I'm only kidding. You know what? And honestly, I would have paid double that to get where I'm at right now, to be honest.
Wow.
Because think about the long term. Where am I going to be 3 years from now? This is a game changer, man.
Absolutely. And for all of you guys listening in, what could this one decision to take, the next 6 months or the next year of your life to master the skill? I mean, what could that lead to? Can you imagine the difference in your income in your life, what that could lead to? And, really just making a decision right now to stick with it for 6 months or a year and make this a mastery.